Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Verbo, and I basically decided to make another video because I had a day off and I figured, why not put more content out there on my YouTube channel and help the fans connect with me and help myself connect with the fans. So, as you guys can see in the title, the video is called "Where It All Started," and if you haven't already, if you can't already tell, I'm going to be telling you guys who I am, where I come from. Basically my story and how it all started and how I became a professional gamer. I just want to mention something before we get into the actual content of the video. This is not me trying to make you guys feel sorry for myself. This is not me trying to make you guys feel petty for my situation or for the struggles that I went through. I'm strictly doing this video to help you guys understand who I am, where I've come from, and just basically put a face to the name Verbo and help you guys understand, what makes the Immortals Overwatch team. And I also want to basically open up the door for you guys, the fans, to relate to my situation, relate to what I went through, what you might be going through, and who knows, maybe you see yourself being a pro gamer and you just want to maybe compare your situation, see what I went through and see what you're going through right now, and I don't know, maybe this video can help you guys, but again, this video is strictly to help you guys and also help you guys understand who I am. So, basically to get right into it, I want to mention that, basically to get into it, the first thing I want to say is I'll just cut straight into this. I'll cut straight into the story. At the age of 2, I had to go through the unfortunate situation of growing up with one parent. When I was 2, both of my parents got divorced, and I was basically having to live with my mom, which we then moved in with my grandparents later on, and I had to live with my grandparents until I was 8 years old. So, like, what did I go through when that happened to me? Basically, when you're like, if someone went through the situation that I went through, it's that feeling of rejection. I was like, ever since that happened to me at the age of 2, I didn't really understand what happened at the time. I started to slowly put the puzzle pieces together as I grew up and as I aged. And the feeling of, rejection was just constantly in my head. Just like always being afraid to get rejected. That constant, me acting like the victim in front of my friends or in front of my family, in front of my cousins, things like that. It's just a byproduct of what happens after that situation. So I'll go into, what was life like for me living with my grandparents and also growing up with a single parent. I have an Italian background, and my grandparents are from Italy, and they grew up in a generation where divorce was very rare. It wasn't as apparent as it is now. And when they tried to understand, my parents getting divorced, it wasn't something that they could comprehend. And they constantly were giving my mother a rough time, and they just didn't really understand the situation. And it wasn't the most ideal living situation for my mom and I. So, to get into, what I was going through in school, after the divorce happened, after the divorce happened, I moved to another school, so I had to move schools. And after I moved schools, I went to another school because I had to live with my grandparents after that. And I was at that school until about 5th grade. So what did I go through in school? Again, I was at such a young age. I mean, from 1st grade to 5th grade, I had a lot more things on my mind than the situation. I felt like as a child, I kind of just pushed what happened aside, and I didn't really deal with it. I didn't want to face the problem. I threw the problem to the side and didn't care. And then after 5th grade, I slowly started feeling the effects of, bottling up all those feelings inside, and everything started to surface. Come 6th grade, my mom actually, we ended up getting back up on our feet. She ended up getting enough money to the point where we can move into our own house in a different area and basically be sustainable for the two of us in a home with only one source of income, which was awesome. I mean, my mom is such a hardworking person. It's not even funny. And she's shown me time and time again that, you know, there are no limits. You can just basically push yourself as far as you want and you can get anything in life. So once I moved, so then because we moved into a different house, 6th grade, I have to move to another school. So this is my 3rd school that I've been to so far. Again, like moving schools is a whole nother situation. You gotta, you know, pick up friends, drop friends, pick up friends, drop friends, get used to different environments and atmospheres, and it's not ideal. It really isn't. So come 6th grade, move into a different school. My mom and I are in our own home. This is the time and the age where all those feelings started surfacing that I bottled up early on, and I was constantly acting like the victim in school. I would actually think that people were, and like when they would joke, I actually took it very, very seriously because, again, like that feeling of rejection all the time was at the back of my head. And like those small little jokes or remarks that people would make to just like poke fun and like have a laugh would actually really hurt me inside because of what I went through. And putting the joke and the rejection together, it was like I actually really took it to heart, and I thought, you know, people were bullying me. And because of all the because I was putting all those thoughts together, and I thought I was getting bullied and bullied and bullied and bullied. I was I couldn't take it anymore. Again, I was going through a bunch at the time mentally that, like, because of all those feelings that I had inside, I thought I was getting bullied to the point where that I wanted to just remove myself from the situation. So I told my mom that I wanted to move schools. So I actually removed myself from the school, went to a different one in the same area, and oddly enough found, like, I was welcomed. Again, this is like 7th and 8th grade. The school welcomed me, and I had a lot of friends in 7th and 8th grade, and things were going well. But again, like, I still was not dealing with the prom. Like, I still bottled up that prom inside. So again, come 8th grade, I graduated high school, or not high school, elementary school, and in 8th grade, I met a girl and I dated her for about, I think it was about 7 to 8 months. And this also led into high school. And the friends that I had, I went into high school with them as well. And they weren't, like, they felt like I was, like, I don't know if it was a jealousy thing, but my friends basically weren't too fond of me having a girlfriend, or for whatever reason. People just have their reasons. And this friend just went sour on me and started spreading rumors. Again, like, this is freshman year. I'm already having rumors spread around me that aren't real. And again, like, it's just that rejection feeling again that I went through. So I stopped dating that girl, and come high school, I was just going through depression. Everything was just surfacing. I was a mess. Tried going to see a social worker, but again, personally, I don't think that really helped me. So again, in high school, going through that feeling of rejection, and what was the first thing I did? Well, I didn't turn to drugs. I didn't turn to smoking or drinking. The first thing that I turned to was video games. I started playing video games. That was my escape. So I just basically sat my face in front of a monitor and just played games all day. And I was playing League of Legends. Slowly and surely, after playing League for a really long time, I felt like I saw the esports scene, and I saw LCS, and it was something that sparked interest in me. It wasn't something that sparked interest in me because of the glorification of being a pro gamer. It was strictly because I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to be someone more. I wanted to do something that was bigger than what everybody else was going to do, which was, you know, do the traditional route, graduate from high school, go to university or college, major in something, and then get a job. And you know, explore in that field. But again, like, I want to do something more. So I got into competitive gaming. I started trying to play in these small League of Legends tournaments. Again, like, just playing games on games on games on games, because I just wanted to escape from what I was really feeling and just shove my face in front of a monitor. And then come 10th grade, I just absolutely lost it. It wasn't even the fact that what I went through at the age of 2, it was more of other things, like doubting myself as a person, doubting myself and my ability to, you know, excel in life. And I didn't really believe in myself at all, like, ever. And you know, I was going through those thoughts that a lot of people with depression have, and it wasn't fun. And it was like, I'm at my end. Like, I'm just done. You know what I mean? I'm at my rock bottom, and I'm just done with everything and everyone. So I was like, what am I gonna do next? Who am I gonna turn to? What am I gonna do? And all of a sudden, out of the blue, my mom was actually going to this church that was about, I think it was about like 5 or 10 minutes away from the house. And all of a sudden, like, she was just a lot more joyful and happy, and I could see a change in her. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was, but I could definitely see a change in her. And she encouraged me to come to this church as well. And I was very skeptical at first, because I'm like, I'm not going to do this, you know, this stupid religion stuff. You know, praying X amount of days. Like, that's not me. And that's not a lot of people. And she said, no, it's not religion. It's not religion. It's not any of that. So I said, you know what? I'll give it a try. Because again, like, I had nothing else. I had nowhere else to go. When you're at rock bottom, like, I just want to reach out to you guys and say, when you actually reach rock bottom in life, it's a very, very dark place. And like, you got 2 options. You got one option to either just completely give up, and you got the other option to turn your life back around. And it's very hard to do the second option. So I went to this, so basically, in short, I went to this church, and the church was called Verbo Church. Hence the name, hence my gamer ID. And I was expecting, you know, the Catholic ways with religion and stuff like that, and it was completely not like that. I also want to mention to you guys, before you jump to conclusions and before you assume things, that there is a complete difference between religion and relationship. And that is not, and the thing is like, me talking about this stuff, it's very hard to talk about this stuff, because again, like, a lot of people don't believe in this stuff, you know, God and believing in faith. And the thing is, as a matter of fact, I'm not asking you guys to believe in it at all. I'm really not. I'm just telling you guys what worked for me and what helped me get through what I was going through. So I basically went to this church, and I was introduced to faith. And things just got better for me, to be completely honest. I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain in detail, nor do I want to, because this video is going to be a lot longer than it should be if I do that. But that's what worked for me. And after that, again, I was still playing League of Legends, and this is the same time when Overwatch came, or when the beta was introduced. So during the first phase of the beta, I actually didn't get in. The second phase, though, I got in, and I was actually just so determined to make it pro in League that I just didn't want to play Overwatch at all. Like, I tried it once, and I was like, okay, this is a fun game, but I need to focus on the goal. I need to go pro in League of Legends. I need to do what I wanted to do. And I had my heart set on it. And all of a sudden, like just going to church and stuff like that, with the faith, I just felt it in my heart to like just drop everything that I was doing in League and take this risk and swap to Overwatch and try to go pro in this game that had no backing. It had no track record of it doing well as an esport. And it was definitely like a huge risk for me to take because I was Masters in League. I tried to qualify for Challenger Series. I didn't make it, but again, like I was really good at that game. I was playing that game for 4 years. I was pretty far in that game. So after months and months of basically being on the fence of League of Legends and Overwatch, I finally made the switch, and I went over to Overwatch. And again, like going in Overwatch, I was like, what now? And now I'm gonna start telling you guys, you know, how I came to become a shot caller and an IGL and a captain of a team and stuff like that. And basically, when I first did Overwatch, I wanted to be this DPS player. You know, everybody wants to be the playmaker. Everybody wants to be on stream and stuff like that and show everybody how good they are. And I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I said, I'm going to main DPS. All I did was play Widowmaker, and I got really good at Widow. And this was during the Widow meta as well. And I ended up trying to join a team. And after being on a team and stuff like that, I was just like, you know what? If I'm going to do this right, I got to do this myself. Because the team wasn't being run properly. People weren't treating teammates right. And I just didn't agree with anything. So I said, if I'm going to do this right, I got to do this myself. So I made the team called Bold Purpose Gaming. Oh, sorry. Also, I wanted to mention that when I swapped to Overwatch, this was like a clean slate for me. This was a new start for me in a video game. Not even in a video game, but like just goal setting. And I said, what am I going to make my username? And the first thing that came to my head was the name of the church, Verbo. So, and I even asked the pastor there, I said, you know, what does Verbo mean? And he said, it means the word of God. And I said, you know what, I'm going to use that name. That is perfect, because it's not like some religious stuff like Amen. I'm not going to name myself Amen because, again, it's just like too much. It's nice. It's a modern word. It's a good name. So I chose Verbo, and that's the meaning behind it. It means the word of God, and it has to do with me going to that church. So to get back on track, Bold Purpose Gaming, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this right, I got to do this myself. So I put out a post, made the team, did a bunch of this is all on my own. I'm 16, right, at the time. I held tryouts. I'm talking, and I'm managing like 18, 20, 22-year-olds, and they don't even know my age, and they're all thinking I'm 20 years old as well. But again, like I felt like age was going to be a roadblock for me, so I tried to avoid telling people my age. If they asked me straight up, I did tell them I was 16, but I try to avoid that. Oh boy, sorry guys, this video is long, but again, I'm going to finish this because I feel like this is important. So again, I made the team, did tryouts, finally had the team together. We played in tournaments and stuff like that, but I didn't feel like I was truly doing what I wanted to do. In a sense of like roles, in a sense of not in games, in a sense of roles. Like I was playing DPS, but I knew that this wasn't the role for me. And again, this is like I felt it in my heart that I don't want to be a DPS player. This is not me. And I said, what can I do to fulfill this need that I have and do what I want to do? And I decided that I was going to be a shot caller, as well as playing DPS, which I later figured out was very, very difficult. So I ended up swapping over to Lucio, which was a lot more like casual hero, where I can still get a lot done, but you know, really focus on communication and strategy. I was so determined because there was such a lack of people who mained the role of a shot caller and IGL, in-game leader, that I knew this was my chance to finally, you know, put my name out there and make people understand that I mean business, that I'm working hard to become the best at this role. And there, like, nobody was doing this role. Nobody was a shot caller. Nobody was an in-game leader. Nobody wanted to do this stuff. No, because one, it takes a lot of responsibility. Two, if you make the wrong call or you make the wrong mistake, you get blamed. And a lot of people can't handle that. But the thing is all that struggle, all that rejection, everything that I went through, I was all prepared for this one moment of being the shot caller. And I could take all that rejection. I was able to take the criticism. I was able to take people blaming me if I made the wrong call. And the thing is I didn't really care if I got blamed because I knew I had something stronger behind me protecting me. So eventually, being this IGL, I started, I studied a lot. Like, I studied the game, I studied strategy. And the thing is it wasn't like trying to copycat professionals. I was not looking at pro play for how to get better at the game. I was making my own stuff up. I was trying to figure out strategies of my own, because if I was copying people, other people were seeing that too, and they would recognize it. And the thing is if you want to get to the top, you can't copy people. You cannot be a follower. You need to come up with your own stuff and your own unique ideas, and that's what I did. So again, proceeding on, I ended up joining this team called Harambe Comets, and that team only lasted about a month to 2 months. And again, like this, as I'm joining these teams, as I'm dealing with other players and characters and personalities, I'm growing and growing and growing as a person, and not only as a person, but a shot caller as well. Like understanding the game more, understanding what calls work and what calls don't, understanding what my boundaries were in terms of like telling players in the game what to do and how to do it. And then after that, I just felt like I didn't want to be a part of this Harambe Comets team anymore, so I left. And all of a sudden, I was looking at the OW Discord, and I saw Jake posting a LFT, or they were looking for a Lucio. And I was like, okay. I checked their track record or something, and Bird Noises was playing. They were called Bird Noises, the team that Jake was making. And they played in a tournament. They beat Complexity too, and I was like, okay, these guys are pretty good. Like, they're rookies to the game, and they're making a name for themselves. Why would I not want to be a part of this? So I tried out, and it's funny because in scrims we actually played Immortals and we did really well, and then in tournament we beat Immortals, and that basically solidified my spot. They said, you're on the team, you know, your communication is really good, and we think you can bring a lot to the team. So I said, okay, awesome. So I was on the team, and I mean, to cut it short, basically I saw an opportunity because Immortals, right after E-League, they removed Jur from the team, and they were looking for a Lucio, and I thought Chance was the actual Lucio for the team at the time because I wasn't really familiar with many of the pro players. And I actually realized that Chance was only playing Lucio because his real intention was to become a coach for the team, and they were just looking for a Lucio at the time. So I didn't know they were looking for one. So then after Bird Noises, during Bird Noises, I actually had a friend who had a connection with Nomi, and he knew me, he knew my shot calling. He thought I was a really good shot caller in IGL, and I had really good communication. And he actually reached out to Nomi and said, hey, I know this Lucio. I think he's really good. I think you guys should definitely give him a shot. My friend came back to me and said, I need you to record a VOD. So I did. I recorded the VOD with a scrim with Bird Noises. I sent it over to my friend. He sent it to Nomi. And Nomi basically recommended me to Chance and saying, hey, although this is like a no-name player, I have a friend who recommended him. Check it out. And Chance, later on, while I was on the team, he actually told me he was not going to watch the video, literally because he did not know me. Like, I was what, like Masters at the time, trying to join a pro team, and nobody knew me. I mean, I don't blame Chance. Like, he wasn't going to look at the video, and he ended up looking at the video, decided to give me a 1 to 2 week trial. And then after the trial, during the trial phase, I had to play in the Alienware Multi-Melee tournament. And this is when we beat Cloud9 twice, once in the semifinals and once in the grand finals. And Immortals never did that before. And that basically solidified my spot. Literally right after the tournament, Noah pulled me aside in a different call, and told me that I'm officially on Immortals, and I made the spot. And that was the day where my dream truly just like blossomed and came alive. I felt so thankful, and like it really dawned on me how far I truly came from, like where I came from and what I'm doing now. But the thing is at the time, it was still, Overwatch was still like small, and it wasn't that big at the time. But then Overwatch League got announced, and then that was huge. Like that's when I knew this was serious business, and I knew that I was doing something that's going to be big one day. But that's basically my story. That's where it all began, and here I am now. I know this video is really long, but I really encourage you guys to watch the full thing. And that's basically it. This is me. This is Verbo. This is my history. A lot of people may not necessarily agree with, what I believe in and my faith and how I got here. But again, as I mentioned in the video, I'm not asking anybody to agree with me. I'm not asking anybody to, align your beliefs with mine. You guys can do you. I will do me. And again, like I said before at the beginning, this is me opening up the door for you guys to relate to me. And this is me putting a face to the name Verbo and helping you guys get to know me. That's pretty much it. That's my story. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I enjoy feedback, so I know so I understand what to do for my next videos. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.